Happy New Year. I'm Paul Chartier. This is Heart of Gold. Thanks for tuning in. We've got our friends from the Lexington Rescue Mission, Jim Connell, and the heir apparent to the executive director, Ms. Carr. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. I think we'll start with Laura. Tell people about the rescue mission and where it's located and who you serve.
Sure. Well, Lexington Rescue Mission has been a part of the community since 2001. Our main office is located at our outreach center, which is off of Georgetown Street at 444 Glenarvan Avenue. And then we also have two other facilities where we have transitional housing for men, and those are on North Limestone and North Broadway. We call those the Potter's House and the House of Hope. And so between those three facilities, we're kind of in a mile radius, really trying to serve people that are struggling with poverty and homelessness and hunger, really anyone who's hurting in the greater Lexington area.
And Jim, you are counting the days until August, but you've got your successor picked out, so good. Talk about how you started the rescue mission.
Well, I started in 2001, just realizing that God was pointing me to a work of homelessness, as social outreach, evangelism, and I was living in Columbus, Indiana at the time. And as I got to researching the region, I found out that Lexington had never had a rescue mission. Rescue missions are Christian-based service organizations that work to serve the homeless and the poor. And that really resonated with me, and when I found out that Lexington never had one, I believed God would take care of me, and then I moved on April 1st of 2001. And
you told your wife this is no joke.
She didn't move with me immediately.
This is really happening.
About a year and a half later, after my son was out of school, then she moved and joined me. And she was my first employee. So,
I love nepotism. What did you do in Columbus before you moved here?
Well, my background is accounting. I was a former CPA, and my last job in Columbus was a little unusual. It was in fundraising. And I spent 4 years with the Hospital Foundation with their annual fundraising campaign. Not quite sure why the Lord would have me in that situation as an accountant, but knowing now that I needed to learn that. So that was an important part of my being equipped to do this work.
How many times in our lives do we do something and think this will never come back and help me again?
Exactly.
This has no relevance.
Exactly.
I never thought debits and credits would amount to that much.
Well, they really don't. As a former accountant, I know what you mean. Laura, you mentioned that you've got a location at Georgetown and then two other locations. Is the location at Georgetown for men only, or tell me how the system works?
Sure. Well, our outreach center, which is off of Georgetown Street in Lexington, serves men, women, and children. So we have meals there 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Anyone is welcome to come, no questions asked.
What are your hours?
Hours are 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And anybody can come and get warm during the winter. It's a big thing to have a place to go to get out of the elements this time of year. And so we like to open up. We have coffee, we have donuts, we've got Wi-Fi, we've got all kinds of stuff. So people come.
Cheerful people.
Exactly.
Yes.
People come and hang out and just have a place to rest and unload and rest from the weather. But then at lunchtime we have a hot meal that's served at noon, and so that goes from noon to 1. And then in the afternoon we have what we call our walk-in hours, and those are times when anybody can come and meet with a caseworker who can help with a variety of different needs. So everything from clothing, toiletries, backpacks, helping with food referrals and all kinds of things, hats, gloves, scarves. So it just depends on whatever the need is. And we have volunteers that will come and listen to folks' stories, offer prayer, and really try to make sure that everybody that comes in feels seen and heard. And so that's really one of our key goals with walk-in hours. We've seen a huge influx of people come in for that. We've had over 1,400 people last year who came in for walk-in hours, and most of those folks are new. And so a lot of people just hear from friends, they hear word of mouth, that we can help with a variety of things, and so they come in for that. But we also have spiritual care that goes on at the Outreach Center. We have chapel service. We have a discipleship group called Steady Hands that meets once a week. So people can really connect with each other and build some healthy friendships, but also connect with the Lord. And then we have a key program, especially this time of year. It's called our Homeless Intervention Program. And what we do with that is we help folks that are currently homeless get off the streets and into housing. And we do that by helping them find affordable housing. We will pay part of their move-in costs, so 50% of that move-in costs. And then we will do 3 months of follow-up case management, home visits, help them get furniture, really try to make sure that they're stable and they're ready to live on their own.
There's a lot of good that you do, and you need people, but you also need money.
Yes.
How are you funded?
Well, we're primarily privately funded, so we really rely on individuals and churches and businesses in the community to give the vast majority of the money that we put to good use doing all these services. And we are actually getting ready for one of our 2 annual events that's going to be coming up at the end of February. It's our Walk for Warmth. And what that is it raises money for that homeless intervention program. So all the money that's raised in that event, that walkathon, will go directly toward helping move people out of homelessness and into housing.
What's the date of the event, and where is the event?
It is Saturday, February 22nd, and it's going to be downtown Phoenix Park, right in front of the library at Main and Limestone. And we'll do a 2-mile walk and end up right at Calvary Baptist Church. And we'll have a luncheon, a free lunch for everybody who participates, and give away prizes for the folks that raise the most money. It's really a fun event, and it's a great way to make sure that you're it's kind of raises awareness about homelessness, but it also obviously raises money to help end homelessness.
People will pay to become a participant in the event. What website can they go to be a participant, or just to make a donation?
Sure, it's walkforwarmth.org, so it's pretty simple. And you can go to that, you can register. There's an early bird deadline, so you can get a discount on your registration fee. And so if you register early, it's just $25 for adults. Kids walk free. And for that, you get breakfast, you get lunch, you get a t-shirt, so it really pays for itself.
You mentioned donations. Can people donate online?
Yes.
And how is that money used?
Sure. So
it stays right here in Lexington.
It does. Yeah, we're a local organization, so all the money that's raised stays here, helping serve our neighbors here in Lexington and the surrounding counties. So you can go online to our website, lexingtonrescue.org. Click on the donate button. That's the easiest way to give by far. And so all of that money goes directly toward the Lexington Rescue Mission. If you wanted to designate that for a particular purpose, you can do that online. Otherwise, it'll go to where it's needed most.
Dignity has a lot to do with people that live in Lexington. And what I love about this town is it's not us versus them. We are all us.
Exactly.
And you help make it all us. You mentioned that there's some new people that are coming into the mission. Are they new to the mission, or are they new to Lexington? And if they're new to Lexington, what's bringing them to town?
I think most of the new people are from Lexington, and they're hearing word of mouth that their service is available.
Great. Good.
Yeah, we do have our fair share of out-of-towners, but most of the new people, I believe, are coming from the Lexington area. And it's really, when we look at the numbers, 2 out of every 3 people we're serving in our walk-in hours are new. So there is a strong word of mouth effort.
And as always, thank God that you're in this town. So you've got the walk-in on Georgetown. You've got 2 other locations, and those are overnight facilities. Or tell me how those work.
Yeah, I'll let my dad tell you.
Well, we have the Potter's House on Limestone near 7th Street, and that has 14 beds for men that are coming out of some sort of, it could be incarceration, it could be homelessness, it could be coming out of a rehab program. They just need some time set aside to live in a sober living environment, live in an accountable way, get a job, save money, so they have a realistic chance of becoming independent. And so that's the first stop for men that comes into our residential program. Once they've been there for at least 45 days and they've accomplished certain goals, and we feel like they can live in a more accountable, semi-independent way, then they can move over to our other property, which is on at Broadway near 6th Street, and we call that the House of Hope. And they can share a room with one other man. They can live there as long as they're making progress on their transition plan. Our goal is not to kick people out after a certain number of days or months, but just to continue to help them to become independent. So there's 18 beds for men at that facility, so 32 beds total.
And like we talked before, this town is such a safety net for everybody. And we've got the Mission, we've got the Hope Center, Crystal's House, Salvation Army. Unless it's intentional, people are treated with respect in this town, that they do not have to sleep on the street.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about Lexington is the way that the providers have come together and really try to make a coordinated effort to address homelessness. And you see that, the results of that in the numbers. Over the last 5 years, the number of homeless individuals in Lexington has pretty much been cut in half. We used to have about 1,500 homeless people. As last count, it was 685. And so it's amazing to see, but really that is the city of Lexington, the mayor's office, taking a lead and helping to coordinate that effort. And then all the providers getting on board and saying, we're going to make this work together. And we meet regularly, monthly, through different meetings, really trying to make sure that all the services are coordinated, that no matter what door someone walks in, whether it's through our door or through the Hope Center, Salvation Army, New Life Day Center, Lighthouse, whatever door they walk in, they're going to be able to get onto the list for housing. They're going to be able to be treated well, treated with dignity, and know that their needs will be met.
In the last 2 minutes, the Mission is here because of you, and you've given 19 years of your life. Laura's going to take over. You want to continue everything your dad has started, tweak it a little bit, or talk about your dad's legacy right now?
Sure. I mean, it's amazing to see what God has done in 19 years. I was in college when my parents told my brother and I what their plans were, and we had no idea what it was going to grow into. And our vision of what we thought it was going to be and what it is now is actually very different. And so I have no doubt that 19 years from now, it's going to look completely different than what I think it's going to look like. All I can do is take the good work that he's already done, build upon it, and trust that if I follow where God leads, that he's going to be faithful.
And all you can do is have a baby that will be 20 years old, and that you're here, your baby's there, and we're having the same conversation.
I've been telling her that.
Give your website one more time, and then we'll say goodbye.
Sure, it's lexingtonrescue.org.
And please visit their website. These are delightful people, one of many groups helping the people in our community, and thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you.
Thanks so much, Paul.
And congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with Heart of Gold. I'm Paul Chartier.